Hello, everybody. So, it's time for the next story, Mirror of Ice. Benjamin could instantly tell that he was dreaming. He paused, taking in his surroundings. He was at the ice rink, and everything was as it had been that day. The sky was gray and heavy with clouds that obstinately refused to drop snow, despite every small child's prayer for a white Christmas. And the temporary skating rink was in the middle of the sculpture garden, surrounded by garish works of modern art. Post-modern art, he reminded himself, remembering the distinctions his teacher had pointed out when discussing the underlying philosophy of various artistic movements. He stood, a little unsteady on his skates, in the middle of the ice, grateful for coat, scarf, and gloves, noticing one crucial difference between the dreamscape and the real event. There was nobody else skating. Benjamin was alone on the ice, except for the solitary, unsteady figure by the rail. He glided over to her, his balance becoming steadier as he recalled the movements, and the other person turned. It was Ashley. Of course it was. He'd known it would be. He slowed his approach, taking in the figure before him just as she'd been the last time he'd seen her healthy. She wore a hat pulled low, her long brown hair barely visible as it disappeared between her coat and sweater, her normally faint freckles in high relief against skin made even paler by the cold, her gray-green eyes wide with the fear of falling, or the embarrassment that such a fall would bring, as her gloved hand clung desperately to the rail. Benjamin came to a slow stop next to her, remembering her explanation. I know how to go forward. I just can't keep my balance enough to move away from the rail. If there wasn't anybody else and I didn't have to worry about running into anyone, then maybe I could move towards the middle. He also remembered that she'd left early, too embarrassed to remain at the crowded rink, and the outcome of that day. No, that wouldn't happen this time. This was a dream, and he knew it was a dream, so he could control it. He could change it. He held out his hand to her, wanting to say so much, but, as in the real world, the things he wanted most to tell her, the important ones, wouldn't come. But he did manage to say, "Come on, Ashley. There is no one else here. Let me help you." She swallowed, then silently slipped her gloved hand into his. He felt a small thrill of happiness, dampened only slightly by the knowledge somewhere in the back of his head that this was only a dream. He pushed off slowly, head turned to be sure that she was managing. Slowly, a smile replaced her previous expression of uncertainty, and gradually a laugh bubbled up as they circled the rink again and again, gaining certainty with each lap. The dreamscape changed, as they are always apt to do, but Benjamin exerted his will to keep the important things safe. The sky became almost crystalline, and the railing vanished as the ice expanded, becoming the only surface in this small reality. A sudden, almost triumphant joy filled him. He had saved her. If only they could skate forever, she would never leave, would never board that train, would never be in that crash. He could keep her safe, and they could glide forever free over ice polished to a mirror finish. Somewhere, across town, in the harsh, unforgiving world of realities and consequences, unaffected by dreams, wishes, or regrets, Ashley lay in a hospital bed, still in a coma. Lucky to be alive, she remained unresponsive to family members or the hospital staff that bustled in orbit around her still form. The doctors tried to comfort her family with small milestones. She was now breathing on her own, and her heartbeat was regular and strong. Her other injuries were healing well. But their worry would not be abated until their daughter could give them some sort of sign that she could hear them, that she was still connected to this world. But Ashley's mind had retreated to another world, a world of dreams and nightmares beyond her control. The dream had turned frightening again. There was something behind her, though she couldn't remember what. She knew she couldn't let it get her. She couldn't run. She couldn't breathe. Most frightening of all, her vision was starting to turn fuzzy. a gray fog creeping into the corners of her peripheral vision, then taking over swiftly until there was almost nothing she could see. She crouched, arms over her head, shaking in terror when someone laid a hand on her shoulder. Ashley jumped, and her vision slammed back into focus. But it was no monster standing over her. It was Benjamin, his light brown hair shaggy in its winter cut, the ends starting to curl, his tan skin a testament to much time spent outdoors, his dark brown eyes filled with concern. He was dressed as he had been that day at the ice rink. Jeans, his tan jacket, and his gray newsy cap tilted at a rakish angle. She took several deep breaths, grateful that she could now, as she took in the fantastical winterscape around them. Benjamin offered her his hand, and she took it, standing up. All terrors and monsters banished now by the tall, comforting presence beside her. He grinned at her, and, still holding hands, they began to run again. But this time, it was different. Now running was effortless. They never ran short of breath, and their strides covered more ground than would be possible in a world governed by the unforgiving laws of physics. It was almost gliding, almost... Yes, this is what she pictured skating would feel like if you were very, very good at it. She laughed in sheer delight, and Benjamin's deep chuckle echoed hers as they sped along, forever free, forever happy, under a sky as bright as ice and over terrain as smooth as a mirror. That's all for this video. Thank you for your patience. Want to know some of the background information on this story, or see the text version? In the description, I have the link to where it's posted on my DeviantArt profile, so head on over and read on. If you enjoyed it, please like, share, and subscribe, and please check out some of my other videos as well. Did you see something I can improve on for next time, or something good you think I should keep doing? Tell me in the comments below. And thanks for listening to me ramble.